Hey y'all, Kelly Whitney here with 32 of 40 things that older black women should tell younger black women, but don't. The lesson here is there are no absolutes. Now, the reason why I want to talk to you about this is because now that I'm an influencer and you guys are reaching out and telling me that you're enjoying my advice and that there's some kind of connection between us, I want you guys to know there is no black and white. There is no one who's all right or all wrong. So you should take what I say with a grain of salt, because there's no way that these short videos that I'm producing are giving you a fully baked perspective on these pretty important life-oriented topics that I'm addressing. Life is filled with nuance. You should take advice, even from people that you may not like or connect with. They don't even have to be other black women, because you can learn something from everybody. No situation is going to be, or very few, I'll say, is going to be all one way and all another. Because people come from their own perspectives, they come from their own life experiences, they come from their own beliefs, their own desires. Advice is personal, and you have to take what you need from it and leave the rest. In one of my last videos, I think I talked about marriage and how you can't always allow yourself to be influenced by societal dictates. I was not in any way trying to tell you guys don't get married, that you should remain single because there's nothing wrong with being single. No, there's nothing wrong with being single. The point of it was not to tell you to get married or to remain single. It was to encourage you to think for yourself. You need to put 2 and 2 together and make 4 into what you need to advance in your life. Whenever somebody comes to you and tries to dissect whatever you have said, for instance, if you've expressed an opinion and somebody comes and says, well, you didn't consider this and you didn't consider that. No, it's not that I didn't consider it. I just didn't talk about it because it wasn't relevant in this moment. And don't allow people to come in and dictate what you should say, how you should say it, to whom you should say it, etc., because everyone has a voice and everyone has an equal right to share what they want, especially in public forums, especially if someone has asked for their opinion. And I think too often women, especially black women, end up in situations where, you may be having conversation and someone may ask, well, what do you think about this or that? And then the next thing you know, well, that's not right. It's actually this. No, it's not this or that. I have my opinion. Okay, I stated it in the limited context of this conversation, and you do not have the right to negate what I say because I didn't include every single point from here to hell. We don't have time for all that. I stated what I wanted to in the moment, and that's what we're going to stick with because that's what I intended. There's no situation that I can think of where it's absolute. Even murder can be justified. That sounded really horrible, I know. But think about it. A woman loses her child. The person who kills her child shows no remorse and actually mocks her as though she and her child have inconvenienced them. So she gets in her car and runs them over. Yes, that's wrong, but is it justified? And yes, that was the plot to a K-drama that I watched recently. But you see my point. There's always a nuance. There's always another perspective. There's always something else to consider. And that's why it's important that you understand there are no absolutes. People are not gonna be all right or all wrong. People are not gonna be all one way or all the other way. You have to think critically about what you see, who you meet, what you hear, and what behaviors you adopt. It has to be customized to your experience in that moment because your needs will change, and therefore the behaviors that you adopt while you should build yourself a foundation, certainly. But the key to growth and sustainable continuous improvement is being flexible. That's why it's dangerous to root yourself too firmly in one spot and become inflexible. Absolutes are inflexible. And I'm not saying you should be wishy-washy. You shouldn't be blowing here and blowing there depending on which direction the wind blows that day. Absolutely not. But don't fall prey to that belief that there's only one way to do something. That if this happens to you, it's over. That if this person says that, it must be true. And there's no nuance. Absolutely none. False. Absolutely false. There are no absolutes, or very few. And I think that older black women don't always share with younger black women that there are no real absolutes in life because they want to be the authority. They want to be seen as what I say goes, And that kind of attitude doesn't always allow for flexibility or new information or adapting of behaviors and outcomes. When you want to be seen as an authority, you almost stick to something so tightly that you smother it. You smother the opportunity for new air and new ideas and innovation to enter the equation because you're clinging to one road. You're determined to walk one path, even though there may be divergent directions where you could go. You have to remain flexible, because when you get locked into one thing, oh, it's like this, you're gonna miss out on opportunities, and I don't want that for you. So that's number 32 of 40 things that older Black women should tell younger Black women but don't. And I hope you guys come back for number 33. Thank you.